Alright, well, I had a fun bye week, but now it's back to business. How are you feeling? Well rested? Why is it always Steen? Gotcha. Hi! Leafs Nation, stand witness for Austin Lucas! Full biblical! Austin Matthews is a Leaf! Why do I watch hockey stressfully? Mostly. Steen and Carlo Koliakovo for Lee Stempniak. Cliff Fletcher made that trade. The Leafs still employ him. He's a senior advisor. Leafs lose 2-1 in overtime to the St. Louis Blues. All right, well, there weren't a whole lot of goals to talk about, but there were some things to talk about. So let's talk. Forget what the percentages say, okay? Math doesn't apply to the Leafs. It just doesn't. Only magic and wizardry and the universe does. And any Leafs fan knows that the universe says the Leafs have to, contractually, by law, lose this game. What are the excuses? Here, before the game even starts, we have the excuses. Oh, they're going to be fat and happy. They're going to be rusty from the bye week. You think they'll be well rested? No, they'll be rusty. And the Blues being bad recently, like everyone was tweeting me that. Like, how could the Leafs lose to a team that's been struggling like the Blues have? Dude, easily, so easily. Didn't you see? That's how it goes. Ignoring all that, let's look at the game. The Leafs look rough. They don't start the game very well. A little bit rusty. Not catastrophic. They need Freddie to bail him out a couple times early, but what else is new? Matt Martin goes behind the net. Wham! Nails Kyle Brodziak. Beautiful hit. Perfectly clean, nothing wrong with it. So what happens? Okay, why did the play stop? Can anyone tell me? Perhaps any NHL referees watching this video. Can you tell me? It's just my little silly opinion. But Matt Martin laid a clean hit on Kyle Brodziak. Colton Parayko grabbed him, and then Chris Thorburn came in and fought him. Was it during warm-ups? Matt Martin's warming up and he's going, my mom's macaroni and cheese is better than your mom's macaroni and cheese. And Chris Thorburns like, it's on site when I see you. And so the first time they were on ice together, they just had to go? No. Chris Thorburn initiated a fight with Matt Martin because Matt Martin laid a clean, legal hit. When a player initiates a fight after a legal play, what's that called, boys and girls? Thorburn instigated a fight with Matt Martin. Now, you might say that they dropped their gloves at roughly the same time. Yeah, that's because Matt Martin's not an idiot. What was more disheartening is that the Leafs got doubled up by the Blues in shots in the first period. Didn't look very good. For anyone who said, well, they're just shaking the rust off in the first period, the second period redeemed you. It proved you right, I think. Second period comes around, they just shake that rust off, and away they go. They look so much more like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Third period comes, and it's a bit more of the same. All right. The Matthews line looks good. Matthews, Hyman, Nylander, they look good. They're not getting great scoring chances. Well, they're getting some through. I don't know how they've done defensively because they haven't had to play defense. They've had the puck the entire time, and they've been in the offensive zone. I guess that in itself is defense, isn't it? I like how that line looks. Remember, there were some mumblings and grumblings heading into the bye week. Oh, Matthews, I don't know. He looked great. Then we get to the rest of the team. The Bozak line truly deserved to be called the Bozak line last night because Bozak was the best looking one of the three. What Mitch Marner played like when he was struggling, remember that huge streak where like he couldn't get a point, he couldn't get a goal? Remember that? He was still, Mountain Dew, but what was he doing? He was just freaking trying crap. Just, I'm gonna go between the legs and behind the back and I'm gonna pass it to that guy in the third row. He'll throw it back, I'll catch it in my teeth, and then I will saucer it to JVR and it'll just go into the corner. Mitch Marner is Charizard. Firepower! He can fly! But his downfall is he doesn't always listen to his trainer or coach, and he is hard to wrangle. He has games like this one in St. Louis where it looks like he's trying and it's utter futility, which is more than I can say for James Van Riemsdyk. 6x6 JVR? What? Look, JVR is one of the best, one of the top 5, top 10 players in the league at getting pucks in close. He does that crazy stuff, puts it between his legs, he can tip it in, he's a beast in front. In the playoffs, he's pretty good. Name the last play you can think of where JVR did something productive outside of 10 feet in front of the opposing net. Like a really nifty stick lift in the neutral zone, or maybe even around the hash marks. Think of a great wrist shot or slap shot he's taken. Think of a big hit. He's a big guy. What about a big hit or just a rough hit, rubbing a guy out on the boards? I don't know when this happened because it didn't always used to be this way, but JVR's got one thing he does, and he does it fantastically. But that is it! Look, the hip new thing is to rag on Mike Babcock, and believe me, I wanna, and I'm going to. But it's too simple to say that, oh, Babcock having Polak in the lineup and Babcock playing Komarov too much. Komarov led all forwards in ice time again in this one. But anyway, it's too easy to say that those things, just those two things, are the reason the Leafs are losing. As if Mike Babcock is telling the Leafs not to shoot when they have a chance, or to be invisible anywhere outside of the opposing team's slot. Babcock's made me raise my eyebrows recently, but the Leafs have too. And I haven't even got to the shutdown line. The shut-off line. What is that? Everyone's ragging on Kadri for the slump he's on. How about Patrick Marleau? You're making over $6 million, bud. I don't care how old you are. And obviously, Komarov leading the Leafs in ice time again. That line got caved in all night by the Blues. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I think one really small smidgen, a teeny little change the Leafs could make. Just take Connor Brown, put him where Komarov is. Take Komarov, put him where Connor Brown is. Sure enough, Leafs shorthanded in the third period. Puck goes back to Alex Pietrangelo at the point. He can't handle it with his hand, and Connor Brown just angles himself to take a path to the puck, and he gets there. Oh yeah, no big deal. Just Connor Brown dusting Alex Pietrangelo. Team Canada coming in on Carter Hutton. Yeah, just go this way. Yes! Nice! Downtown! Connor Brown makes it 1-0 Leafs. The guy can score. Give him a chance. It's amazing that it took him being shorthanded to have a legitimate chance at scoring. The fourth line is the same thing every time. It's either a fruitless bang and crash forecheck in the opposing zone, fine, or they're digging the puck out of their own zone, and when they go for their breakout, it's Connor Brown versus three guys. Every single time he's like, guys, I got him, I'm gonna fight through. You want to get Marleau out of it, you want to get Kadri out of it. Offense. And like, what an insult to Brown. Like, what is he, a defensive liability? Are you kidding? He's one of the most responsible forwards on the team. And it just annoys me, like, after the game, Babcock's like, well, yeah, you know, he's getting kind of shafted on the fourth line. That's you! Oh my God, guaranteed for next game, Babcock's gonna be like, all right, I'm promoting Brownie. And we're all gonna go, yes, okay, great. So it's gonna be JVR, Bozak, Brown, and then I'm gonna put Mitchie with Marty and Goat. But anyway, we're forgetting that the Leafs have a lead here. And there's like 5 minutes left. And 4 minutes left. 3, 2, last minute of play in the third goal. Shot on while Alex Steen is in front. He gets the rebound, and if he didn't get the rebound, there was another blue in deep behind all of the Leafs defense. It's a tied game. We head to overtime. Nylander gets a breakaway, stopped by Carter Hutton. Who taught him how to do this? And then it's the Blues' turn. Now, when I saw the play the first time, I was like, oh! Vince Dunn elbowed him right in the chops! Barely, dude. He basically muscled Marner off the puck and then beat him up the ice. Takes the shot, shoots, scores, and then it's the classic tale. A kid who grew up a Leafs fan buries the Leafs. Freddie Anderson stops 40 of 42 shots. You should be winning that game every single time. The Leafs wasted a stellar effort from Freddie. Look, ultimately what this channel is, and what this channel always has been, is just a fan of his hockey team talking about his hockey team. And if he feels like yelling, he will. I have a hard time being professional about it because I care. I care whether or not they win or lose. The Leafs winning or losing, not gonna lie, does affect my day. I was in a bad mood yesterday. I'm talking to Mrs. Dangle about it, and she just looks up and goes, oh, God help me if the Leafs don't win tonight. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but that's just the way I am. And this loss hurt. It made me sad. I was sad after this loss, okay? And I can't hide that. So I contacted my dear friend, Chris Johnson of Rogers Sportsnet. CJ, dude, I need your help. Can you talk me off a cliff here? I don't understand why the Leafs are playing this way, and I don't understand why Babcock is making them do it. What's going on?
Steve, my man, take a step back and take a deep breath. There's a larger plan at work here. The Leafs have an 11-point cushion on a playoff spot right now, and I'd argue that gives Mike Babcock the luxury of prioritizing process over results. And let's remember, the most dynamic team of the NHL salary cap era, the 2009-2010 Washington Capitals. They scored nearly 4 goals per game in the regular season, and they lost in round 1. Having your best players play responsibly may lead to duller hockey, but it often leads to winning hockey. And let's think back ourselves on the Leafs playoffs last year. They blew a 2-0 lead in Game 1 against the Washington Capitals and a third-period lead in Game 6 before losing that series. Do you know what Mike Babcock doesn't want, Steve? He doesn't want history to repeat itself, and neither should you.
You know, I asked you to help me feel better, and you asked me to vividly picture 2 Leaf losses in the playoffs? Thanks, man. You know what? No, that helps. Let's say everything the Leafs and Mike Babcock is saying is true, okay? They started the season playing this ridiculous hockey that I think we can all agree was unsustainable. So what they're trying to do is improve defensively. because they're not that great. In order to get better at defense, they need to take away from one of their strengths, which is offense. So what they've done is they've weakened a strength to address a weakness. But right now, it's the beginning of that process, and the weakness is still their weakness. Once their defense shores up and gets a little better, you can focus on some more of that high-flying offense that we saw. So maybe the Leafs aren't good now, and maybe they're not meant to be, because maybe this is part of the process. I mean, ultimately, something really, really bad would have to happen in order for the Leafs to not make the playoffs this season. And if they're figuring stuff out, well, they got over 30 games left to do that, and they've played like the most games in the league, and this is after their bye week. Which isn't to say this isn't without flaws. For example, if you're trying to teach the younger players on this team defense, why then are you leaving all the defense up to Leo Komarov and allowing Polak to kill all the penalties while on the third pair? While I don't see much logic in those moves, I see logic overall. But this is give and take, and in order for me to get on board and support this, you're gonna have to show me improvement if this is actually what you're doing. Question of the game, after Chris's thing at the airport, do you feel better? Oh, also, Blues fans, if I were you, honestly, I wouldn't be whining. Yeah, you've had a rough go lately, but you're still pretty much 500 in your last 10 games, actually better. And you're third in the monstrous Central Division and 2 points out of first. You've managed to turn Carter Hutton into one of the best backups in the league. Are you kidding me? It might not seem like it right now, but trust me, Blues fans, life is good, and injuries heal. You'll be fine. At least that's how I would look at it if I were you. And last thing, I almost forgot. I'm getting involved with an NHL 18 tournament in support of the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation. It's free to enter, and there's a $17,500 prize pool. Open to Canadian and US residents 14+. Tournament begins with online qualifiers, and the top players will advance to the online playoffs. And finally, the good stuff. 2 finalists from each console will be flown to Philadelphia to compete in the finals live at Xfinity Live Philadelphia before the Flyers-Penguins game on March 7th, 2018. Registration is open now, and if that interests you, link is down below. Check it out. You can play as much offense or defense as you want. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I uploaded a couple of videos while the Leafs were on bye week, so you can check those out over here. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully the Leafs win. Please.